is Judas St. Clair, and well, this is the reinvention of my channel. I had some videos posted before where, I was just random gameplay, but I think I was doing it weird. Like I just did not feel the product I was making, and I wanted to amend that and give this channel some sort of formula rather than just random gameplay. I'm not taking out the gaming aspect because, gaming is a big part of who I am. But I've decided that I'm going to use the format to kind of branch out and talk about things that I care about. So mental health, philosophy, things going on in the world, my cats, personal diaries, stuff like that. It's definitely a little bit of a weird thing for me because I've never really attempted something like this, but I'm trying to be more open, and what I'm shooting for is just kind of like a place for people to come and just talk, a completely safe space, yeah, but that's going to be my format now, is just, playing video games and talking, and, it might shape up differently as I go forward. But, that was my cat. But, for right now, I think I'm not really going to use, supercut editing or anything like that. I'm just going to talk and be me. So, without further ado, I guess I'll get into my first video about who I am, and I'm going to play one of my favorite games, Deus Ex. This is Deus Ex Human Revolution. I originally played it on Xbox 360, and, well, during that time, I was very depressed. I was massively overweight, and I wasn't healthy, and I had a lot of self-conscious issues about it, and it was a rough time, but that really wasn't the root of the issue. Honestly, I just kind of felt like I was not really going anywhere in life, and I just felt bad all the time. I've been diagnosed with depression and everything, anxiety. I have ADHD, and it's tough. It was really tough. I had just moved in with my father, who had spent the previous 10 years of his life locked up in prison.
Is everything in place?
And
What do you mean, almost?
I had an extremely bipolar mother, and as soon as I graduated and my father was released from prison, I wanted to just go there, because being in my mother's presence at that time was just suffocating. We really did not have a healthy relationship. Thankfully now that that relationship is a lot better, but it's a love that really grew from a distance. And well, my father's is where I went to. We had a small little trailer kind of down in a little hole, like a dirt road. As soon as you go down it, it didn't have internet, it didn't have anything. But I had an Xbox 360, and I remember finding this game for 98 cents at the time. It was one of those super, maybe it was $3, but it was from GameStop. It was a super cheap price, and so I picked it up, and when I went home, installed it and everything, I didn't really expect much, because it's a $3, it was a $3 game. you don't expect much if you're spending $3. But as soon as I booted it up, and it has this really cool opening. But as soon as I booted up, I got sucked in, and I believe I just, if I had a bad day, because I worked the entire time, and going to work, it was like pretty. Sometimes it was pretty early, sometimes it was pretty late. But I was a cart pusher, and after a day of just dealing with people or being in the heat or the cold or the rain, I'd get in some pretty bad spots. And when I would get in those bad spots, this game was a lifesaver. I would just get sucked in and play. It's an RPG is what it is. It's kind of like, I've heard people compare it to Metal Gear Solid and stuff like that, but honestly, I can't really compare Deus Ex to anything else. I know it has like previous games in the series, which I really want to play, and they really revolutionized like RPGs and like spy RPGs and stuff like that. But this game, man, I'm telling you, I don't know if anyone else has it, but like that one game that brings you into a safe space. I mean, I have a couple games like that. This was just one of the many. But you essentially play as this guy, and you can get cybernetic enhancements. The story's very good. I don't really want to spoil anything, so I'm just going to play through it. And if you see anything that spoils it for you, I'm sorry. But this is just it's the way of the world, pal. And but there was times where like I was saying before, I was just feeling down and out. Like I felt like the whole world was on my chest. And this game and games in general, whatever your safe space game is, I don't think that it's honestly accounted for more in mental health. I believe gaming as a coping mechanism is good if it's done with, you have to do it correctly. Because if you spend your the entirety of everyday gaming, then, maybe it's a little overboard. But I feel like, not enough therapists tell their patients, hey, have you tried playing a game? It doesn't have to be like an intense game or anything like that, but stuff like Stardew Valley, that's straight therapy. And games like that's I can honestly remember back to the first iteration of a coping game for me, and that was Pokemon Fire Red, or not Fire Red, but the actual Pokemon Red on the Game Boy. I was probably like 4 at the time, 3 or 4, and I remember actually learning how to read through Pokemon Fire Red, or Pokemon Red. I don't know why I keep saying that. I keep on thinking of the Game Boy Advance version of it, which I graduated to later in life and fucking loved it. But I remember just being with my Game Boy, no color on it. It wasn't even a Game Boy Color, and I played Pokemon Fire Red, and not Fire Red, Pokemon Red, and I was learning how to read through it. I knew what flamethrower was before I knew like how to spell hello. But that was my first time getting sucked into a game and kind of just going there when everything felt bad. I didn't have like the best childhood environment at all, but what I had was a tiny world I can just escape into. And I'm pretty sure I had these cheap ass headphones for it at some point. I don't know if it was this iteration or if it was like the Game Boy Advance. But I do remember at some point in my childhood, when I got the ability to have headphones with my games. Honestly, that changed everything. I didn't have to listen to yelling or fighting. I didn't have to listen to anything. I could just kind of sit, vibe, and play Pokemon. And I think what made it feel so good is like I was in control of everything. I didn't have to wait on a variable. I felt like any obstacle could be overcome. There's nothing I couldn't do because there's progression. If you're having trouble with a gym, you just go out to the grass, fight, train, and come back and whoop his ass. But in life, it really didn't feel like that. It felt like I was trapped, and sometimes it still does. I can't lie, like I haven't grown out of depression. I don't think that's something that happens. I guess people go to therapy and they find better ways to deal with it, but I don't think it ever goes away. But in Pokemon, it could. It was a different world, and I could just disappear, try to find Pokemon, and train up my favorite ones. And that really became more of a thing, like as the generations went on. I would never get like Pokemon day one of release. I think there was one time I got Sapphire on my birthday, but the other times I would just kind of wait, and my grandmother would take me to yard sales. And that's how I would get most of my games, is just going to yard sales. And, I'd find them for a few dollars. It's so crazy to think about back then, because now everyone's a collector, and people know the value of a Pokemon game. It's going to be like for 40, 35, 30. You hardly ever find them used for a reasonable price. At least not yard sale prices, which was like $5.
Environmental malfunction.
It's honestly funny to think how my grandma bought me Emerald and Ruby and Fire Red at yard sales for like $5. But everyone's a collector now, and everyone knows their worth, and I'm not mad about that, but it does kind of suck that you can't go to a yard sale and find that anymore. But I started branching out from Pokemon as a safe space game to, different GBA games. There was Harvest Moon was a huge one. Hold on. I'm trying to remember what I just said. Maybe I'll come back. Oh, Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon for the Game Boy Advance. That was a huge one. I would actually spend all night and all day playing that. And if you're a fan of Stardew Valley, check out Harvest Moon. The older iterations, or I think they changed it to Story of Seasons now. Don't hold me to that. But a very, very great game. It was very fun, and I enjoyed that. And I would kind of get sucked into that because it was you pretty much, it's like you have your own farm, and it's like Stardew Valley, which I think Stardew Valley was based a lot on Harvest Moon. But you could plot your soil and grow your crops and talk to fairies and find love in a loveless town. That one, I actually got that one. I borrowed it from my aunt, who was like, 20 years older. She was like in her 30s or 40s. And I borrowed it from her while my grandmother was at bingo. Because me and my grandmother, we used to go to bingo nights. And I borrowed it from her, and I just did not want to return it. I know I kept it for 2 months, and I played it that entire time. and I just did not want to return it because, like, man, I was getting my vibes right with that. And so that one was really tough when I had to go back to my aunt, which I understood why she wanted it back, because it was probably the same reason that I wanted it. You know, it was her little escape. But yeah, so I had to give it up, and I looked for a new game to be my my little escape, and that just happened to be Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. And oh, that was fucking rude of him. But in that game, you kind of like run your own little guild, and it introduced me to one of my favorite genres, which was, you know, tactics games. But you pretty much run your little guild, and you had different classes and all kinds of different things that just kept you coming back. And for a little ADHD brain like mine, that was, God, that sucked my soul in. I remember playing that like straight from like when I got home from school to the point where, you know, I would have to go to bed, and then I would hide under my covers with my Game Boy Advance, because by this time I had the light up Game Boy Advance, and I would just hide out and play that fucking game. And like my grandma would come check on me to make sure I was sleeping, and I would hide it under my covers. It was honestly a really thrilling adventure. But that I must have like 1,000 hours in that game, honestly. Hold on. I think I want to go through combat soon. Oh, hello, Frank. Frank just knocked over a broom, but that's okay. But yeah, I must have had thousands of hours in that game, because I can almost quote it. I haven't played it in a long time, which I was playing it on stream one day, and I might play it again sometime soon. But I remember my brain just getting so ecstatic about all the different classes. Ouch. But and you could like learn this different skills from the classes and stuff. And you know, with playing Pokemon before, I was very much into the RPG genre. RPGs are probably one of my favorite things. And one of the things as I grew up, what kind of took away some of the safe space, is growing up in my ADHD, like becoming more of a hindrance, because I was no longer like fascinated in stuff, or in like any game. Like when I was a kid, like I'd play any game, it just didn't matter. And I guess as I grew a taste, well, I couldn't just play any game at that point, and it got even worse that even the games I liked, like my ADHD was like interfering with on like a pretty terrible level. And because what would happen is, this is like late into my teen years, like almost 20. Honestly, it became super worse after I graduated. Is I would start a game and, you know, stop. Oh, who's these guys? But I would start a game and I could for the life of me I couldn't finish it. And sorry if I get caught up on my thoughts. I'm currently unmedicated, and also I keep on saying and. I'm going to try to improve my speech. But as I got older, that became more difficult because I couldn't like keep my attention span. I'd stopped my medication. There was no way I could. Is there a way to melee? No, but there's a way to do cover. Okay, I forgot about that. Thought that was breakable. But being unmedicated and ADHD, it was so hard to escape into games. And the thing that really sucked about that is like that's like the time I was needing it the most. Yo, where'd they go? But that was the time I was needing it the most, is after I graduated, because shit got really hard for a while. And then I came upon Deus Ex, and that was, you know, when I was like 19 or so. This was my safe space game. But that's on safe space games. Fucker. But yeah, I haven't. I've had a few since then. There's. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm hurt. I'm down bad. But there's been more here recently. I got medicated, and it's a lot easier to pay attention to the games that I'm playing, and it's made my life a lot easier. I've been struggling with making content because I keep on procrastinating. That's one of my hugest flaws, is being a dirty little procrastinator. I kind of wish that I didn't, but I do, and that's why this channel hasn't gotten many video uploads recently, because I've been procrastinating, and I'll keep telling myself it's for different reasons. Like, you know, I can't do it because of this, or, you know, certain life situations. But truth is, like, if I wanted to make it work, I could, like I am now. And, well, I've decided to stop procrastinating and start playing and making videos. And I don't know if I'll be playing video games in every single one of them, but, I'll be playing video games in a lot of them, because I don't know what to do if it's just myself on camera. I don't know. We'll see how that works later on. But I am getting choked the fuck out. Keep y'all backhand strong. Yeah, repair my artery, son. But these RPGs, Witcher was another one. For The Witcher 3, I started it and I couldn't get into it, and I put it down for like a year, and then I picked it back up, and then I started it again, and I got past a certain point and it clicked, and Witcher became one of those things that I could escape into. But games really played a big role in my life, which is why I want to incorporate them. Honestly, I might incorporate some PS2 games, some GBA games, because those two systems were my go-to. Then I graduated to Xbox 360, but the two systems closest to me is definitely Game Boy Advance and PS2. My brother, he had a PS2, and God, going over and seeing my stepbrother and my stepmother and my father back before he was incarcerated. And I lived with my mom predominantly, so going over there on the weekends was so fun and so relieving, because I felt like it had a family dynamic there, and It was honestly, it was good for a while. And I mean, I guess I'll get into that later. I don't really think I have the mental space to get into that now. But my brother had a PS2, and I remember us playing all kinds of games on it. And then my neighbor, after I lived with my grandmother, because custody of me was taken from my mom by the state, and I was placed with my grandmother. But my neighbor had a PS2, and I had a PS2 at that point, and we would all, like, you know, trade games. I remember playing a lot of the Mortal Kombats with my brother and my neighbor, and that was a huge thing for me, was Mortal Kombat back in the day. They were so fucking fun. Another PS2 game was Magic Pin Gel, which not a lot of people know about, but I love it to death. It's probably my favorite PS2 game, or one of my favorites. But my brother has such an extensive collection of PS2 games. I remember there was one that was called Bouncer. There was like a local co-op game. That one was amazing. Now I got beard in the eyes, or sunglasses.
Adam, it's David. You in the building?
Just entered the lobby.
Sorry to
Just
bring you out
entered the
sick leave
lobby.
so soon, but we've got a situation. A break-in at our Milwaukee Junction factory. Meet me at the helipad.
I have to see Pritchard first. Something's wrong with my retinal enhancement.
Alright,
Frank's
where's
on the
Pritchard?
second floor in the tech lab. Make it quick. People's lives are at stake.
But
Why is David keeping the SWAT team?
the PS2 era had some good stuff on it. I actually remember trading Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with my neighbor for Mortal Kombat. And there was an open world Mortal Kombat too that I loved. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll probably look into that.
Get stuck in an air duct
But
on the
if
way
y'all
over?
want to see me play any
nice to see
games,
you
just
too,
let me know. I'll be open to playing any of them that you think of.
Can you fix it?
If it's what I think it is, probably. Of course, it might.
I don't know if I should play story games for this. I mean, I picked one this time because I just love Deus Ex. But if I should, I don't know, maybe I should just play some idle games or something.
Its recognition software won't be picking up
But
hostiles yet, but you should be seeing
I don't know.
radar
I'm
and
just
targeting
kind
molecules.
of doing what I feel
Biomedical data too,
and
if you're
trying to get my vibes right.
We done here? Because Sarah is waiting for me.
But
I know.
keep on saying bottom every time I transition, and I'm gonna practice not doing that. I'm gonna practice not doing that. So every time I do it, I'm gonna dump a Dr. Pepper on my head. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that.
Lucky for you, I'm gonna ignore that.
Yeah, I'm gonna ignore that comment because I didn't listen to it. But fuck. I'm really trying to not do that. I need to work on my speaking. No code found. There's a lot of hacking elements to this game, which is really fun.
Adam, how close are you to the helipad?
Almost there.
Good. Because SWAT's about to turn this into a PR nightmare. Meet me in the chopper. I'll brief you as we go.
Okay.
Welcome
Got
back,
to 'em.
Jensen. Didn't think we'd see you around here for a while yet.
You know how it goes, Malik. Duty calls.
Duty
Don't I know it?
calls.
I was in my wingsuit halfway to the top of the Renaissance Center when I got the
But
911.
I'm happy that I had games
6
throughout my
months is a
life.
hell of a short time to
I
come back from the dead. You sure you're ready
Don't
for
know
this?
if I would be here without them. I know that's kind of childish to say, but
Find out.
Roger that. The boss is already on
games
board,
that I
arguing
had
with
growing
the
up
DPD's
and
tactical
escaping
response
into
team.
them,
They've got
it
the
really
plant
took my
surrounded, but
mind
Mr.
off
Seraph wants you to go in
the
first.
shit, and I'm not gonna
You all set
go
here?
into the
Because the sooner
trauma
we take off, the better it will be for everyone.
right now for my first video. But
Great. Then let's get
I
airborne.
will say that I probably wouldn't be here without them. I was also really into reading too, and that was my other safe space. I would actually get in trouble for reading too much, believe it or not, in school, because I wouldn't be reading what they wanted me to read, but I was doing that because I probably already read what they wanted me to read, and they just didn't realize it because I would always read ahead. But yeah, I was called out quite a few times for reading in class. But other than that, like games and books, that's what I had. Fuck.
I told Farida to put us down on a roof. I don't want the crowd seeing you
I
go
guess
in.
I'll continue
Fine.
playing this game for a
As long
little
as she
bit
pulls you up the
and
minute
get
I'm
past the
gone.
first mission.
So what am I looking at here? Who are these guys?
Pro-human
I
purists,
promise not to make it
or so
too
they
painful.
say. The same purists who've been firing
but
limb clinics all over the country.
You buy that?
I'm trying to
I don't
think
it's
of where
a
to
coincidence
segue
They hit us today, only hours after we moved the
from
Typhoon
my,
in for assembly line
crippling
factory.
depression growing up
Typhoon?
and using games as a
Maybe
coping
Steve was testing
mechanism.
it the day that bastard. Who's on point for these guys?
But I can't really
I don't
find a way to do it. So
I know you and Megan were once.
Who is on point
Yeah.
for these guys?
Goes by the name of
Tough shit.
Sanders. That's him there.
but
He's an augmented Adam, so he can't be one
I
of
don't
the
know. I need
first
to
attack us,
share.
but
I
he
need
did
to
know
share with
exactly how to
somebody.
get inside our plant.
All right. So how do you want me to?
I
handle it?
have
First priority is the Typhoon. I'm keeping
I have a
SWAT
lot
out
of close
and
friends
security.
who I don't really
As far
share
as rules of
with
engagement go,
as much
I'll
as I
defer to you.
should.
Lethal or non-lethal?
But like I always feel like
I'm not looking to start a firefight in there. Just neutralize.
yeah,
it.
I'm gonna neutralize them.
Okay, but just make sure those bastards don't wake up and warn their friends. You remember what it's like in there? A lot of tight enclosed hallways, but the labs themselves are
But
pretty open.
I have a lot of close
High
friends that I should
ceilings.
probably be more
So,
open with.
you want
I
something
just
you can use
don't
from a
because
distance?
I
or
don't
up
know if the
close?
past is something that they kind of want to hear about. Or I'm sure they wouldn't mind. It's just not something that I can bring myself to realize that they want to care about, even though they probably do. They're really good people. And I'm not sure if anyone will care about it here either, but this channel is more for me than it is for other people. The creation of it, at least. If anyone finds peace and solace and
Give me something with distance.
kind
If I get too
of
close,
just
I'll take
likes the
them out
vibes
personally.
and sticks
Just
around,
try not to
I'm glad
break
you do.
anything expensive.
So if
The
something like this
Typhoon should
channel
be in the factory labs.
interests you,
But
just
Pritchard will tell you more
subscribe,
as you go in. I've
talk
got
to
him
me in the
running
comments. I
Terrific.
promise I'm going to try to respond to as
Anything
many
else?
as possible.
Keep your eyes open for hostages. Free them if you can, but the Typhoon is your number
And I know
one
I could probably
priority.
come into this
We
as like
developed it for the alphabet
an
agencies,
influencer type
and if
personality,
we don't deliver it to them intact and still a secret,
but
well,
I don't want to do that.
I'm sure you'll get the
I-
job done right.
Let's face it, I'm not Mr. Beast. I'm just a person, and I don't think YouTube's gonna change that. I have another YouTube channel where I do goofy shit with, and I'll probably do goofy shit here because that's just who I am. But it's mostly gonna be me talking, and yeah. Oh, look at that pan up shot. God, I feel like a badass. Yeah, it's just gonna be talking and playing this goofy game. This goofy game. Not this in particular goofy game, but you know, just me playing games and being goofy and then talking. I'll definitely like upload different types of videos though. Like it's not strictly going to be a gaming channel. because at the end of the day, I'm not really talking about the games themselves, rather than, you know, the effects of them, or, you know, how I perceive them.
Tell me you're the guy we've been twiddling our thumbs waiting for.
SI Security. Name's Jensen.
Jensen. Yeah, I thought I recognized you. Used to be on Team 2 till that Mexican town thing went down. I gotta say, you're the last person I pictured taking orders from a CEO.
Things change.
Not always for the better. Feel like getting in there and doing whatever it is your boss wants you to do? Because maybe then we can do our job.
You look pretty dug in up here. What's the react team plan?
We got Alpha as point and Bravo as wing, both standing by to breach the target. We're coordinating from here, but until your boss gives us the go-ahead, we're just holding our dicks.
Realistically, how much time do I have before any shooting starts?
According to protocol, none. According to your lawyers, the sooner you get in there, the sooner we can hose this powder keg down and call it a day.
We've got people
I'm
inside.
going to rescue some
Any
hostages.
idea where I should look for them?
Yeah. Your plant manager, Josie Thorpe, managed to slip a call
But
out
yeah,
before someone snatched
I'm just going to be
her
playing
cell.
games like
He said
this,
the hostages are being held in
and
an office
talking
near the assembly labs.
Makes sense.
about
Workers
whatever.
were setting up for a production run, so they'd have been concentrated there.
You know more about that than I
I
would.
look forward to it.
Anything else?
Intel on these
And
purists. How much you
I'm
got?
glad for anyone
How much
who
you want?
enjoys the content.
They communicate any demands yet?
Not yet,
And
but I
if
get
you'd
the
rather
feeling
see
they're
me
not that organized.
play
Most of
more
the guys
games,
I see
I
look like
don't
street
know.
bangers and thugs.
Just
The
tell me
kind
what
who
you
get their
like and what you
jollies
don't
trashing
like.
equipment.
I'm pretty sure you won't
ask
like the
me,
butt
it's
ums,
the man in charge. You have
because
to
I say
worry
them a
about.
lot, and I don't transition well,
the leader's
but
name is Sanders,
I'll
right?
get better.
What's his story?
I guarantee you, I'll get more professional at it.
We're running background on him now. Looks like he fought 2 tours in the Gulf.
But I'm making a
One of them
commitment
on recycle
right here,
military build.
right now.
You mean he's augmented?
I'm
Sarah
going to be
told me he's
uploading
not.
regularly,
He used to be augmented.
whatever I have to.
Says his Augs made him do
And
evil shit, so he ripped him out. Now he's
That's
got a
my
whole crew
commitment.
of gullible street kids listening to his
Regardless
crap and ready
of
to die
the
for him.
views,
Or
or the
kill.
likes, or the dislikes, or the
I think I've heard enough.
You sure?
times Frank
Wouldn't
messes
wanna
up.
make your boss unhappy.
Screams. Frank is my cat, by the way.
I
He's
got it from
a
here.
he's a beautiful
Sit
little
tight.
cat.
Wait for Sarah's signal.
I got him
Choice.
from a kitty that was pregnant in the trailer park that I used to live in. 'Cause she used to live in a trailer park, and there was a bunch of wild cats, and there was one that we found, and her name was Little Kitty. That's what I named her, at least. And she we would just let her in the house and feed her sometimes, but she got pregnant and had some cats. And Frank was one of those cats, and I'm so glad that it happened, but he can be a little menace sometimes. 'Cause he messes with blinds and knocks things off and pulls down tapestries,
Good. Your point of entry should be through shipping and
but I
receiving.
love him.
Should be, Francis.
And frequently you may see him
We have
messing
an
things up for
employee
me,
entrance
but that's
there,
okay because I
heavily
love
guarded by
that
purists, no
little
doubt.
mofo.
So, if you're not a fan of the frontal assault, I suppose you could try accessing the building's roof.
Can access the building's roof where? I'm guessing down here.
Yo, anyone there?
Oh. Wait, can I not open this up? Okay. I can descend even further.
Getting too close to any guard is a risk. You're better.
Fuck this tutorial. I don't know why he's okay, I'm just sneak. He's smoking. He's on a smoke break. I'm gonna ruin this guy's day. Oh, I'm gonna take all of that. Hide the body. Okay, another sneaky attack.
That guy's dead!
Ooh. I fucked up. I fucked up bad. I also thought about having, like, you know, trying out different meals and stuff too. Don't know if that would be something that's fun or not, but it's definitely something I want to try. But I'm so super excited to share on this YouTube. I don't know if anyone's gonna watch it, and honestly, it don't matter if they do, because this is just a place for me to vent, and that's cool. Oh. What is up there? I feel like something. Did they see me? This was a way to scope them out. Oh my god. Right. Is there a way I can equip the pistol I have? Oh, I didn't pick up the pistol this time. Okay. I only have 5 bullets though. This first little video is getting a little dangerous. Okay, I'm just gonna try to combat this. Wait, was that it? Did I win? Okay, so I think I'm good here. Maybe I should take a look at some shit though, because they might have some nice little valuables laying around here. Oh, nope, not the fire. Alright, which one was the weapon wheel again? Ah. I tried to be merciful. Y'all saw.
Pritchard, I'm in. The door worked just fine.
I'm happy for you. The Typhoon is in the factoring labs. There's an elevator just past the assembly labs that will take you to it.
Got it.
Oh no. I was spotted. And I was killed. Hey Frank. Frank. Load latest save. But if y'all like to see me play the same game and like have like a concurrent like run of it, just let me know. For the first part, I'm just gonna be like playing games like this. Or at first, I'm just gonna be playing games like this at random.
I'm happy
I'm not sure if
the Typhoon is in the factoring labs.
not sure if anyone is actually following along to either me or the game, so you honestly can just pick. There's no way they didn't see that.
Jesus, what happened to you? I'm good. Cover me.
Come on, bro. I tried to save your life. I tried to rush him. Sometimes I get a little excited in games, and I rush in too quick.
Pritchard, I'm in. The door worked just fine.
I'm happy for you. The Typhoon is in the factoring labs. There's an elevator just past the assembly labs that will take you to it.
Got it.
Okay, I'm thinking about ditching the whole non-lethal approach.
This is the spot, man. Someone be licking up.
Just like came with 2 bullets. I'm actually kind of bad at this game. I don't know if I was this bad before. I don't know how I could beat it if I was this bad before. But I think I'm gonna. I'll come back to this. And if y'all are enjoying this, subscribe. Love you. Thank you for watching.